Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here. Welcome to the Intuit Cafe. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings. And the reason I really love this tool is that it helps anyone tap into my ability as a card reader and then still using your own intuition to pick a reading that then will have the messages that are most applicable to you at any given time. When you have a really specific question, it's a lot easier for me as a card reader and an intuitor to get a little bit more accurate information. And then when you have that particular question come up for you, you have a whole bunch of different readings that you can choose from, listen to your inner voice, and then watch the reading. Your higher knowing will come through and, basically in some way guide you to pick the right reading. So as I create these, I'll be using a lot of different kinds of intuitive tools, Lenormand, tarot, and some cartomancy with just regular playing cards. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching my channel, for liking and subscribing to it. I just really hope that you are as blessed by these tools that I'll be providing as I am to be able to provide them for you. Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here, and I have another pick a card reading that I'm going to do for you. And the specific question that I'm asking is, why have they ghosted me? And in that why, we're going to really get into see the details of what's behind the ghosting. And then I'm going to ask, or kind of like second step the question into, will I ever hear from them again? And then number 3, what actions should I take, in light of the fact that they've ghosted me? So I have 5 different decks of Lenormand cards. I'll pull some tarot cards also to kind of flesh out the story and see what more is going on. And I just want to say that you can use this reading more than once for different situations. And, basically the way I look at these types of pick a card readings is that it's the best opportunity that you have to really take into your own hands the situation and use your own intuition to basically pick the right reading that's going to have the best answers for you. But on the other hand, if you start watching the reading and it just does not sound like you, feel free to go ahead and say, okay, that wasn't for me, and then watch another one. And the reason I want to say this is that when we're learning to use and tap into our own intuition, one of the things that's very tricky is that our mental mind, our planetary mind as I like to call it, can get in the way of what our spirit is trying to tell us. So your spirit and your higher knowing actually comes from your chest area or the heart, but actually it is like it's in this spot, in this place in your body that deeper knowing is, whereas our mind contains all of the kind of like more the data, the programming that we've received, all growing up, whether it's every single thing that all of our experiences serve to program our mind in a certain way, but our heart and our spirit are not programmed by the planet, by the world. They're actually truly of divine. It's the divine spark within you, and that part of you truly knows and has access to all information, and it actually knows everything that is happening. It can connect to it. But our planetary mind has so many programs that run in our brains that affect our decisions and that affect our outlook, so that even if you're really trying to tap into what your inner knowing is telling you and feel into your heart, and it says, did it say pick number 2 or did it say pick number 3, and you're not really sure, and sometimes that message isn't coming through as clear as it should, but when you start listening to the reading, then you'll know. So that's just one thing I wanted to say, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so as you can see here, I have 5 decks of cards laid out, and I want you to just take a minute and kind of sink into your heart space, that, feel into your chest, and ask yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, which one am I being called to listen to right now that will have the most accurate information about the situation I'm facing with someone who has ghosted me? Okay, so for those of you who picked card deck number 1, the first thing, of course, that we see in the center here is the coffin, which is all about inaction, about nothing happening, about being in a complete state of silence, death, like nothing is happening here. Now, in Lenormand, you don't normally like read the cards, like the pictures in the cards intuitively, but I am getting a message here, and that is that everything is facing this direction, as you see. And actually with the messenger, this is something we often do read. The writer, we read the direction he's writing. It can be, it's not meant to be the only way to read it, but that does sometimes apply. But what is interesting, actually this one is someone's traveling the other way. He's facing the center. So it just really feels like this is just coming up center. Front and center is this silence, but within silence there's also transformation, is one thing you're telling me. And one thing, the reason I know that there's some transformation taking place here is because the writer is leaving the block and then going to face the silence head on. So where there was blockage, there's now movement. This is interesting card because it's the mountain, which talks about great distances and also talks about things that are blocked and things that are in the way of achieving our goals. But we still have a picture of someone who's crossing over the mountain, a very arduous journey. It reminds me of the Klondike Trail and the mountain where they're just going up in the snow, and it's a very iconic picture from back in those days. That's what it reminds me of. This is the whip. This particular card, he has a broom in his hand and he's whipping himself, and it's interesting because in most other decks they don't depict a person, it's just the whip. And actually, I'll just have to say, as far as Lenormand cards go, I saw this deck online, and of course you can't see every single picture, and I wish you would, because some of the pictures I like and some I don't like, and I don't like seeing a person here. I just want to see the whip and the broom. But in any case, he's really beating himself up about this. So this, I feel, this deck was chosen because when the broom and when the whip comes up, they wanted the message also to come through that even though you're being ghosted here, someone's really beating themselves up about it. Now the house and the whip together, the house is like that place, it can be your home, your literal home and everything. And so I think that there's something about the connection with the whip here, and the whip is that the pain is the arguments. There was arguments at home. Now, in some of your situations, it may be the two of you had an argument about a home, or there was an argument in a home, or it was an argument at home. So you're like, someone's ghosted you because of an argument that you had with them in or about or around something having to do with home. But I also think that there's some others of you, the person ghosted you because there's arguments and chaos and disruption, and things are going on in their own life at their own home. Like, it's not someone you're living with or somebody you're married to or something like that. It's just maybe even someone you're dating or someone, usually these are going to be love readings because this is a question most of us want to have about love. Although I've had friends ghost me before and wanted to know why. So if you're just asking about a friend, I feel like it has a lot to do. Their ghosting you has a lot to do. In most cases, it has a lot to do with whatever these arguments were that have around a home or at a home or about a home, whether it's involved with you in their home or whether it's their own home separate from you. But that gives you some context. Why did they ghost me? Because they have a lot of stuff going on at home. And they're beating themselves up about it in a sense. Like, it's not like they really wanted to ghost you, but they kind of just had too much to deal with. There was the mountains, the blockages, has to do with this. It mirrors. So the house and the mountain go together. They speak about each other. So it's blockages because of home. Things that are going on in the home are creating separation. Specifically, it's what it means. Or things that are going on in home with this person are so momentous, like there's so much for them to deal with that they literally just can't talk to you right now, and they set you on the back burner because of that. And it also, the mountain just means separation and physical separation and distance. So because you're physically separated, your home is away from their home, you're far away, it's one reason that plays into why they ghosted you, because they're like, maybe just it's easier to ghost someone that's at a distance than someone that's close. And maybe they didn't necessarily think, I don't want to talk to this person anymore, I'm going to ghost them. But they're like, they just did because the distance made it easier to do, or that because you're at a distance from them, are like, I just don't want to deal with this right now, and the distance is too great to overcome. But the writer is really positive in this spread. The writer mirrors the whip, which means that one of the meanings of the word whip is things that keep on, like cycles. And so he is returning. The writer is coming back, but it's in cycles. And so I do feel for some of you this is because they've ghosted you, because this is a cycle and a pattern that they do. They've done this before, and they always come back. You'll hear from them again. It's very likely. So let's just take a look at the next part of the question is, what should I do about it? Oh, no, I had two parts. Will I hear from them again? And is there anything I should do or could do to bring that about? I feel like the answer of will I hear from them again is already in here, but let's go ahead and pull two cards for will I hear from them again? And is there anything I can do to help bring that about? Okay, another reason I don't like this card is you have to really look at this to realize it's not about a window or a bird, it's about a ring. So this is the ring, and this is the bear. So there's a very, very strong connection between the two of you. The ring is about contracts. It's about, being connected with somebody. It's about being bound to someone in some way. So they're bound, in a sense you could just read it, they're bound to you're bound to hear from them again. You're very strongly assured. The probability of hearing from them again is very strongly bound. Like it's very strongly probable that ring it comes around. And it also can even just do like the two of you are there might already be some agreement, whether it's a soul contract that you maybe not fully aware of, but maybe you have a sense of it. It's a soul contract to be with them or be around them or hear from them or be connected with them in some way, and it's very strong. The bear is also very supportive and strong and secure, and like it's not going anywhere. If the bear shows up, it's generally a positive card. I think it's more of a neutral card, but the ring is a neutral card too. But overall, they together they're feeling quite positive to me. So you're bound to hear from them again. And then what should you do? Okay, so there's action. There's definitely action. Now I was going to say, if there was some cards here that just show you not doing anything, then we would have that clear, if there was something more neutral. But here, these are both action cards. The trip, the ship indicates a trip. The ship indicates going. So even if, it's just a trip down to the coffee store to meet them, or, maybe you should take a trip together or something. But the stork talks about change. And so a trip would change things, it says. It says that, if you want to bring about change and a shift, then, movement is required, or you can take the movement. You can do something to help shift and change. This is what it's saying. So I don't really feel that this is going to say, okay, this is how you should reach out and this is what you're going to say. It's more just like, yes, you can do something in this situation to bring about the ghosting, help end the ghosting. But it already shows to me that they're coming back anyway, and they're bound to come back. So it's not like you have to do something. If your inner guidance is more like, no, I feel like this time I need to just wait, like that's okay too. Like I just feel that the shift it will happen anyway, and otherwise you wouldn't have been drawn to this reading, or maybe you would have listened to this reading and you would have already stopped listening because you feel inside of you, So let's just get some more insights about the situation here. Very positive. The sun, judgment, somebody's being called. The wands, okay, this is very much this trip kind of thing, and it's about the messenger coming back. It's about the bear and the ring being bound to come back, because in the Three of Wands, you have someone who sent, they made their investments, they set these ships off filled with trade goods, and the ships are coming back. It's about manifesting. It's about what you truly want and what you desire. And the sun comes up as a super positive, just like it's a yes card. It's the major yes card of the tarot deck. So yes, they will come back. You know, it actually came up right above the question is, will they come back? And there's just more assurance that yes, they will. You will hear from them again. It's bound to happen. It's destined to happen. Everything is set in motion for it to happen. They're being called. Someone's being called to come back and come in and, you know, make the connection. Perhaps you're being called to make, you know, this trip or whatever, you know, there. And then the Nine of Cups, oh my goodness, the wish is coming true. I don't know, guys, you could hardly get a better reading. If someone's ghosted you in this situation and you got this as an answer and you really want to hear from them again and you want to connect with them again, then I would be extremely happy for this result. So that's all I have to say about this. I really don't think it needs much more to be said. And I will pick these up and we'll go to deck number 2. Somebody who's blocked you on social media, because the garden is about meeting in social places and the letter is about communication. So it's that, you know, the talking back and forth on social media. I think the bear is coming up. It could be his personality. We've got the man here. His characteristics could be like he's a businessman or something like that. He could actually, you know, be a really hairy person. Sometimes that's a characteristic of the bear, is just someone who's hairy, but very strong. And like, I'm kind of feeling a Taurus sensation, you know, but earth, strong, stable, secure. I'm feeling that I'm feeling like the ghosting has something to do with this, but I'm not really sure how. I might have to pull some more cards on this one. So the flowers in the garden is extremely positive. It's, the flowers is about, you know, it's a gift. This person has been a gift to you, like they're like, because it's marrying him or her, but this is the person. So either this is you, if you're the man, the querent, or if it's you're inquiring about a man. But there's a lot of, you know, positive energy, creativity, appreciation, happiness. This person brings you a lot of happiness, and I'm connecting with them in a social way. Meeting them brought you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and there was a lot of communication. I also feel that I believe that he's going to be reaching out. If you're asking about a man, then he will be reaching out. If you are the man in the situation, the male. Now, I was just going to say man. Again, if I forget to ever say this, please know that I strongly believe that human beings, in general, most people are quite polarized in their core energy. I've known men who were very polarized toward the feminine, and they were very like manly men in a sense that, you know, they weren't necessarily gay. It has nothing to do with your sexual orientation necessarily. And I believe all relationships people are attracted to each other because there's the opposites attract. And so in every relationship, you're going to have a person who carries the stronger masculine energy or the stronger feminine. And so just when I'm talking about man, I'm really thinking more of the masculine energy. So I do feel that he's going to be the one communicating here. So if this person has ghosted you, I really feel like it's not showing me why. So I'll ask some more questions about why. Like I said, I felt like it might have something to do with this bear. It could be business related. That's what it is. It has something to do with business. And he's just got a lot of things going on business-wise. He is like, he's in what he does for work. He networks and socializes and has to meet people and connect with people. So that aspect is coming into play. And he's just kind of a busy guy. And so he's not ghosted you because he doesn't want anything to do with you right now. I even feel that for some of you, maybe you already know this and this is just the affirmation you needed. I think some of you don't know this person very well yet. And so you kind of, like, you don't know them well enough to understand that this is just what they do. And if you don't, if this is someone you're considering a relationship with, you're going to need to understand this just will be how it is. Like if you're such a person that really needs someone with you there all the time, and you're not going to be comfortable in a situation where they have like a lot of stuff going on in their life, then it might not be the best match for you. And so this, that's going to be up to you to decide. But they're a busy person. All right, so we're going to take a look at houses. You'll see me do this sometimes. I don't do it every time. I kind of feel like it just is something if I feel additional clarity is needed. So what the way houses work in Lenormand is that if you're using a grand tableau, you're going to say that you're going to have these cards will show up in different places. You put out every single card in the deck if you've seen this before. And then you see where these cards land and what they're in and what area they're in. And then that does help you. Look, we got the letter in the letter, in the house of the letter. So there's definitely going to be communication again. Something sudden about him. I feel like he's sudden. That's it. He suddenly appears and suddenly communicates out of nowhere. Okay, flowers in the house of a friend. This guy started out as a friend with you, or maybe he still is a friend. Maybe she. I'm just gonna say he, because I feel like this is him. You're the querent, you're asking about someone. If this is a woman for you, then it's a woman. But I'm going to keep saying he because it's in my head. So we have the dog. He's a friend. He's loyal. He's loyal to, again, I feel like he's loyal to things about his life. And so if you are really good friends, then he's also very loyal to you because you're in his sphere. But this, the flowers, you know, the things that give him... Oh, being loyal and friends, he's got a lot of happiness, joy, creativity, fun, and good experiences around this. He's a very friendly person too. Now, the moon in the house of, I mean, the garden in the house of the moon is about recognition and about invitations. So he gets a lot of invitations. It's like I was saying before. He's invited all the time to stuff. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And so if he's ghosted you, it's not intentional. In like, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with this person, he's just busy. He has a very, very strong heart. So if he loves you, if you love him, and if you feel like he loves you, then he's got a very, very strong, like it's not going anywhere. His heart and his affections don't shift and change easily. He's very, like, in it, in his heart, and he's connected with his heart. The bear also can be mama bear. And I kind of feel in him he's got some mama bear kind of characteristics, or this might be a woman, and she's got that, you know, that protective, and family's very important and that kind of thing too. The message in the house of a message, it's just, you'll hear from him. This person hasn't really ghosted you. You just think they haven't really. Again, if this message is not resonating with you, then you know, feel free to go listen to another message. But this is out there for those who, you know, you just were like, oh, they know. Okay. So I want to see, will you hear from him again? That's answered. So I'm just going to pull 2 more cards for, is there anything that you can do right now if you want to hear from him sooner, or should you just wait? Let's see if there's anything you could or should do. Okay, luck, clover, and choice. Okay, well, you have choice, and whatever choice you make is going to be good. So you could sit back and wait for him to make the move if that's the energy you want to be in, or you could make a choice to reach out to him, and that will work out well as well. So I don't feel like there's anything much more to say about that. I'm going to go ahead and pull like maybe 3. I'll just do 3 tarot cards because let's just see what's going on with this, more about something with this person. Now we might just get, usually I just find that the tarot just ends up, you know, showing me what I already knew. But then sometimes something else, some other detail will come up that we're like, oh, okay, so we need to know that as well. Knight of Swords, Emperor, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, this is pretty clear to me. Okay, so this guy, you feel like he's sneaking around and stuff because he's not talking to you. The 7 of Swords is a sneaky guy. He's trying to get away. In generally, we think of him trying to get away with something. But then again, that's just our judgment. We're looking at the card and we're like, oh, look, he's going to steal some of those swords and he's running off. Look how he's dressed. So there's judgment in that, and that could be the case. And I feel like, though, what's being highlighted here, because on either side of this, you have, first of all, a ton of masculine energy. So we've got the Emperor. He gets things done. The Emperor is very much like the bear. He's very powerful. He knows his mind. He knows what he's doing. He knows where he's going. He... There's no questions. There's not even any dithering. Like, he's very strong in his heart. He knows what he wants. And then, but the Knight of Pentacles is just this guy that goes slow. He's got, like, he knows where he's going, but he just takes a while to get there. And I just feel that this 7 of Swords is coming up in the center because that's what it looks like to you. But I'm telling you right now that these 2 cards on either side, This is not at all a Seven of Swords energy. These two know exactly what they're doing, and they go about it in a very forthright way. They don't go about it hiding. So where you feel that you have had someone who's sneaking around on you and stuff, that's just your perception. For all you know, this guy is, you know, picking up these swords because it's part of his job, or like it was what he was told to go do, like go get those swords. Or it could be like, you know, I left these swords here and I'm coming here to get them. You know, we've made assumptions about this story, and that may not always be true. That's how I'm feeling it. So that's what I have to say about that reading, and I hope that resonated with you, and I think there's good things for you. If this person has ghosted you, I don't think it's the end of the world. So we'll go on to the next reading. Very interesting that I keep, you know, so far the readings have been quite positive. In cases where you guys you've got someone who you feel is ghosting you, it doesn't look like it's going to last forever. So let's go ahead. I just feel like, well, I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I'm going to put the houses down as well. Okay, so we have the sun and the moon, and that's, first of all, archetype of the masculine and the feminine. So this could even be just really coming up to show about how this person you're asking about, whether it's a love situation or not, if it's business partnership or if it's love, you're very well matched. You're the yin and the yang. You have this beautiful synergy and this energy between the two of you. So I really don't know why you're feeling ghosted right now. But if you are, I first of all can sympathize. It's happened to all of us, and it can be very confusing and frustrating. So I don't know why you're feeling that way, but I sympathize with it. But the energy is there that there's some, you know, really good connection. And I think Tarot is going to give us a lot more insight in this time than, this is more just the practical, you know, what we're going to see unfold. The clover next to the letter, clover just says like everything just turns out exactly the way you would want it to. It's by, you know, like by magic, by, you know, of course you're going to end up getting your communication. It's just, you know, because the sun is smiling on you. You have, like, all the energy is there just for, yes, it's going to work out. The clover is magic on anything it touches. First of all of these four cards I'm sorry, travel is neutral. These three are positive. These are neutral. They can take on either energy. And because these are positive, we don't have negative cards here. So I do want to see the houses because that might give us some more detail. In Lenormand, when you do a grand tableau, every card goes in a position. You deal out every single card in the deck, and then they sit on a position that has the theme of that area of your life or of the question. So we actually can create like a mini grand tableau here by saying, okay, what areas of this situation do these show up in? And it's very useful. Okay, so first of all, these are all really positive cards. The scythe is actually neutral. I personally love the scythe, but then I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios love change. We love transformation, and the scythe is that thing. It can really transform things. It can cut things out that we don't want. It can suddenly bring things in. It can bring sudden change, sudden anything. I love surprises, and so usually I love surprises. So I love the scythe there. And everything else is a positive card. Well, actually the heart can be neutral, but takes on either, so letter. But these are positive. Everything looks really good. So let's just go ahead and dive into this. The sun is coming up in the house of communication and of letters, and so again, we have communication coming out anyway. So all the positive energy is here for communication to occur. And if you're being ghosted right now, I think we're going to see more information. I pull some more cards because I don't even know why. This spread is not showing me why. The moon is coming up in the house of love, and this is, or the heart, you know, so maybe not just love, but it usually has everything to do with love or what you're passionate about, where your heart is. And the moon is a very soft energy. It just makes everything beautiful around it, and it's very inviting. It also goes very deep. If it's paired with a negative card, it can be more like the negative aspects of our deep emotions or psyche. But it's with a positive, you know, it's all very positive. So it looks like there's even, you know, the possibility like an invitation that's coming in that truly has its basis in a true affection and care. And, you know, if this is not a love reading, which I feel like most of you will resonate with that. But in any case, this is, if there's an invitation or I feel an invitation could be coming out, and it does have to do with matters of the heart and coming from the heart, but it will be very sudden. The ship is about movement, and it can even indicate the communication, but it's also very much about a trip. So it's very possible that a sudden trip occurs, a sudden, suddenly you're like, oh, I haven't been hearing from this person, and then suddenly there's an invitation, and let's go on a trip together. And then luck is in the house of invitation. So this just feels like, okay, so invitation in the house of the heart, and then the luck in the house of the invitation. It really seems like that's a good thing for you to accept the invitation. And then the stars is definitely like the wishes coming true card. The luck is a little bit about that as well, but the stars are very much about that. The stars also mean a lot of or many, and it can also mean about networking. So it could be that this person, if it's a business kind of situation, they're going to like end up suddenly, you'll be hearing from them again, and then there's going to be a lot to do around communication. Like there's going to be a lot of communication. If it's a love situation or business, I think you're going to see a big increase in communication, especially next to the luck, because the luck is just, you know, a lot that's just really good energy for things happening, and then the stars really does talk about many. And so I do want to get some more insights on, I want to know why did this person, why are they not talking? Why do you feel ghosted? Because again, I'm just telling you, they didn't really ghost you. That's how it feels. You know, that's what it looks like. I'm not saying it doesn't look like, but they haven't talked to you. That's how it is. But from the sense of like somebody's saying like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. I don't think that's what it is. Let's go ahead and see. There's uncertainty, or something's being clouded about work. And burdens. Okay, so there is a bit of a story happening here. This person does have a lot on their plate. Like the clouds can be about confusion, so they could have had a lot of confusion going on in their work situation. The fox can be a negative card. It can be about somebody who's sneaking around and doing sneaky things. I just don't see this as being negative. So I can't take this fox and look at it as with the negative characteristics of the fox. But for some of you, there might still have been something, and I'm not really sure if it's having to do with this person exactly. Maybe it was stuff around them where they had, like, they're dealing with some shit. Let's just put it that way. They're dealing with some tough things. They have not ghosted you on purpose because of you. It's not about you. It's about whatever's going on in their life. And it's pretty heavy stuff. The cross is about burdens. It's about responsibilities and things that weigh us down. And the clouds is uncertainty. So they've got a lot of uncertainty, and they're trying to deal with it. Like the fox has to be crafty and sly. And if he's trying to get away, like you think about the fox and the hound story, and he's being hunted, you know, he's got stuff that's coming at him, and he's trying to like be everywhere at once is kind of what I'm feeling. And so it's just he's preoccupied with these other, she is preoccupied with these other things right now. So is there anything that you can or should do? And well, it'll be interesting to see what the cards say, but I'm feeling they're saying it's all in motion. You should just allow it, like give them their space, because they're dealing with stuff right now. You don't want to be that person that's like hounding, because you actually could shift this energy out of that beautiful energy right now. I think you should just kind of be a little more on the quiet side. The bear is strong, and the fish says abundant. I'm gonna get one more. And beauty, flowers, the bouquet, beauty, flowers. You could send them flowers. If they're going through a hard time, if you know, maybe you already know, you're like, yep, I know exactly what's going on with that person. It's been tough for them. Then I would say you might be asked right now to send some flowers. Be a strong, like be there for them. Be strong. The bear is very strong. It's saying this is what you can do. You can be very strong. And I feel like it's possible that you're reaching out to them, but just, you know, in a very beautiful and kind and loving or supportive. The flowers is, you know, positive, really positive things, positive energy, being creative. And the fish is about money. It is also about abundance. I'm a little bit at a loss exactly why the fish is there, so let's just go ahead and we'll pull out some tarot cards here and see if tarot gives us a better understanding. I'm going to do like 2 or 3 cards for this person's situation and what's going on with them and why, you know, that difficult something. They do have something going on there. Oop. That's interesting. The 10 of Pentacles and Fish, because it's about money. Something's going on with their money. I just had to pull an extra one. They've got some business kind of stuff, and the Bear is a business person too, so that's interesting. Maybe some of you, it's a business connection you're talking about. All right, let's see what's going on with them. King of Cups, the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like this could be a person that in their own life okay, I hadn't really seen this coming, but okay. For some of you, this person is a third-party situation, and he is single, but he's trying to make up his mind about 2 different women, or vice versa. And that could be where a lot of this, it's a tricky situation. He's got some confusion a little bit because he's trying to make up his mind, perhaps, or maybe he has made up his mind. He's going toward the Empress, and the Empress was over here, so that's you. But he's got this Queen of Pentacles to deal with, and she is all about his money. Interesting that money came up over here. I feel like you just need to make sure you're not into this guy for his money, because he's done with that. He doesn't want someone who's just in it for his money. I feel like he's got a lot of money. I think he has lots of money, but what he really wants is he wants love. And he's being attracted to the Empress, who she is magnetic and she attracts everything to her. She has no need. She's not at all needy, where the Queen of Pentacles can be needy. I'm going to talk really quickly about 10 of Pentacles. A lot of people just read the 10 of Pentacles as a really positive card. I feel like it has a penchant for being somewhat negative at times. Like it can be either, but I think it's a neutral card and it goes either way. And because it's with the bird and the clouds and the fox, I feel like this is the negative aspects of it. In the Rider-Waite Tarot, it shows a family scene, like legacy and money, and they have this estate. But if you look at the characters in the picture, it looks kind of unhappy. There looks like there's arguments. There looks like there's a lot of kind of crap going on there. And so it can also be like all of these different energies at play, where a lot of people are winning someone's money. And it's the legacy, and there's, the inheritance, and there's the, what are you going to do with your investments, and I've got to have my share. And so this could be, it's interesting. I'm talking about third party. I kind of feel that for most of you, it's not really like this guy is single, but he's got stuff to deal with this woman. And you may already know about it. You already know that he's like going through, okay, so he's already been through his divorce, or he's getting divorced, or separating. It, could be someone he's been with. And there's stuff that's tied up with them financially that's still a burden, okay? And he's trying to maneuver his way around that. That's what the fox does. The fox is tricky, sly, but he's not doing it like he's not going to really like try to cheat her or anything. It's just that he's got to be careful in how he maneuvers these things, because there is a lot of stuff, like there's a lot of confusion clouds, or things are shrouding the whole situation, and he's just got to maneuver his way around it. It's absorbing all his time before all of this takes place, because this is super positive. So he is this guy here who is stuck in a situation where he's got some stuff to resolve. Now, if this is a business question about, why is this business or this friend, could be a friend, doesn't necessarily have to be about love, but even if it's just a friend, this is something they're going through, and, if you're this beautiful friend to them. So let's see what's going on this side here. Okay. Yeah, there's total love here. We have the Ace of Cups. There's so much love here. You don't need to worry about that. You have the 2 of Pentacles. It's telling you need to create this balance. You've got to do the juggling act, because they're doing a juggling act, and you need to do it as well, because you have, if you want to play a part in this person's life, they're going to have this other aspect of their life they're going to have to be dealing with. And so, attend to your own. Oh, okay, I got it. The flowers, the bear, the fish, and the flowers for you is saying, what should you do? I feel like you need to attend to your own business. You need to take care of your own business as well. And your own business will bloom. And in your own business, now whether this means you have a business or this is your work or this is what you're passionate about or whatever it is you do, this is you attending to your own business. Like, you just need to set this whole thing aside. This guy is not going anywhere. He likes you, he's into you, she, whatever, if it's a she. They're into you, they like you, there's everything positive gonna happen here. You just need to focus on you, do your business thing, and do your own juggling act, because that's what they're doing as well, and they'll be coming in. And they're gonna come in when you least expect it. Right now I'm feeling that this is the scythe. This is that guy who comes in suddenly, and suddenly there's like the invitation. Oh, you know what? I'm going on a trip. Would it be so much fun to have you come? And you're gonna be like, what? Where'd that come from? Suddenly, a trip? Awesome, I'm gonna accept that invitation. It's gonna be fantastic. And then you start having a lot of communication. So in this situation, and all the love, in this situation, I'm feeling quite strongly you need to just sit back and let it unfold, and don't push. Like, it's not saying you should not do a single thing, like you can't reach out to them or give them a little ping, you know, be like, hey, just making sure everything's okay. I know you're going through some rough times. That's fine, but you need to kind of leave them be. All right, so that's the end of that reading, and now... is that this person has ghosted you, and it's probably for your best good. And again, I'm going to just say right now, if you started listening to this and you're like, no, that's not my message, this is not for me, then that's fine. Go ahead and listen to a different one, and no hard feelings, but there's someone out there who needs this message, and this is what's going on here. Whether this is you or them, there has been a lot of something that's been eating away at your relationship with them, and it's become toxic, and it needs to be cut away. You have abundance coming into your life, and you have growth. Like, all of this has been on your path for the reasons of growth, and because the tree also, like, you know, it grows over, you know, many lifetimes, right? Trees can be hundreds of years old, and the rings and everything. So that's kind of what's indicated with this. It's about even lifetimes, you know, many lifetimes. So to me, the tree even has some like karmic kind of, you know, karma lessons that you needed to have, growth. I don't look at the word karma as being just a bad thing. It's just like, you know, we all have people who come into our lives because we had karma to work out with them. And I feel like that's what was going on with this. And I'm just going to say right now, I feel that it's going to be the best thing for you just to allow this person to walk out of your life. I've had that happen before too, where, you know, it's like, oh, I want to have closure. And I feel like, you know, you've really had it already. You can look back on the situation and realize that, you know, even if it didn't end and close out the way you wanted, sometimes when we say I want closure, it's because what we're really saying is, well, we don't really like how this ended, and we want to try to make a different ending occur. So let's go ahead and get some houses here so we get some more insights about what's going on here. Interesting. All right, so the snake is generally a negative card, but when it's paired with the tree, it means about esoteric, mystical, higher knowledge. So, you know, kind of like the snake that was in the tree at the Garden of Eden, the story of Garden of Eden, where it says to Eve, you know, eat of this tree, and then, you know, you will, this is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Like, your eyes will truly be opened. And so maybe it was open to things that she, you know, maybe later decided she didn't know. But regardless, like, there's deeper reasons and knowledge. So that's, you know, what's behind this and why this person is here. Mice in the House of Flowers is really sad, because the flowers is the part of your life that should be bringing you beauty and joy and happiness, but instead it's getting eaten away. So it's saying that this person is eating away at your happiness, and they're like your joy and your beauty and you know, everything lovely in your life is getting eaten away because of this person. And so letting them just be cut out is the best thing to do. The snake is in the house of the home. I feel like for a lot of you, this has been someone who, you know, you actually have had a relationship with, you've lived with them, you've lived together in a home, and, or if it's not home, it could be work. Sometimes the house, oddly enough, can indicate work, but usually you need to see other work cards around it, and I don't. So I really feel it is more about the home and the house. So you have with this situation, now, even if you don't have a home with them, it's like something connected with them is poisonous and toxic and causing poison toxin situation in your own home. This even could be home as in inside of you. Your place inside of you that is your home is being affected in a poisonous and toxic way. The mice and the snake is basically just saying that you know, the mice are all about things that get taken away, stolen, decay, corrupt, and when we pair that with the snake, we just get, you know, all the negative characteristics of the snake. So that poison, that toxic. So I just feel like there was a poison toxic situation in areas that should have been like, you know, some of the best areas of your life, your joy, your happiness, your flowers, your creativity, and then your home. And the fact that it's suddenly being, you know, the scythe is sudden, but it's in the house of the tower, and the tower is like things in your own life that have stood for a long time. It even goes back to like your past, in like your earlier life, like even where you grew up, your home, your career. You know, the tower actually can be businesses and that kind of thing. So some of you, if this isn't a love reading, or if it's not like a close personal relationship, it could just be a business setting. And in the business setting, because the tower can stand for businesses, and that's where it got cut off. And you know, this is your finances too, so your finances are being affected by this. So the fish come in the house of the clouds. So where you had uncertainty, now you have money and abundance coming in. So that's a really good shift to see. So we see things like kind of like the opposite effect here, where we have very positive things and we had negative things happening in that area of our life, and now we have areas that are more kind of negative. These are both negative cards, and then we have positive, neutral, or but somewhat positive or positive things happening in them because it's being cut out. So let's ask about, you know, I don't really have in here why. Why did they cut you off, except that maybe they just are a toxic person? Let's get some more details about why, and then we're going to get some details about, it's interesting too, because like I've had so much fun with the other readings, and it's not that this isn't fun, this particular reading, it's just heavy. I'm feeling the heaviness of this energy, so I'm sympathizing with those of you who are going through this. And this is one reason I like the scythe personally, because I just like, sometimes it's just good to get things cut out of your life that need to get cut out of. Okay, so why did they cut you off? They had some kind of new luck coming in, and maybe even they saw like their life going in a different direction anyway. The writer is movement, and it's messages, and it's totally forward momentum. So listen, I'll say this too. I know that some people in my life were very toxic for me. We were in a toxic situation with each other. Just because they were toxic for you, your situation together wasn't good, it was, you know, bad for both of you, doesn't mean they in and of themselves are bad people, or that their life is going to suck, you know, like it just, they've got good things coming in their life as well. And that's why they've cut you off. And I actually feel that some of you, this person isn't just ghosted you. It's more like they've cut you off, but there might have even been some conversations about why. You actually know why. Maybe you're having a harder time letting go of it, but they've already moved on. Like they cut you out because they're moving on. So what can you do? So you can have total change in the contract of this situation. So whether it's a karmic contract, soul contract, or whether it's even you had a marriage with them, because the ring can stand for marriage, you can totally have change. It's time for you to allow change to come into your life and have change in regards to that situation with them. So they've moved on, and I think you need to as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Tarot has to say. Give us some more insights, information. I think I have a couple of my other cards in here. Put you back. So this is going to be kind of like advice for each of you, or maybe like more insights for for you on what's going on with them, and then some advice as well. I feel like this is going to be the middle. All right, so there was love there at one time. I feel like somebody was really controlling. And I think it's just the communication card is coming up because either communication is needed or you had the communication from this person. This is also about decisions. I feel like they've made their decision. There's been some communication about it, or else there will be soon. And this person is just, maybe they were controlling, but it also is about someone who's just standing up and taking charge of their life. And he made his decision, she made her decision, and they're just standing up and taking charge of their life. The Five of Wands. So that's the middle right there. There was a lot of tension, a lot of arguing, a lot of going back and forth, competition. You know, you're both pulling in opposite directions. The Emperor is like super strong. So if you were pulling against this person, that wasn't easy. Let's see what's going on with you. The King of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. So the King of Wands, that's a lot of masculine energy too. I feel like the two of you were kind of duking it out, and both of your masculine energies were like clashing. And one person is stronger than the other because the Emperor is, you know, above the King of Wands. But of all the kings, I think all four kings basically equal the Emperor. But this is that really passionate side, and you know, you were very passionate about the situation. I feel like you were also very nurturing. You really wanted to make it work. You saw that you had built something together of value, and you were wanting to hold on to it. But I think it's time for whoever's watching this reading, it's time for this to be let go. Otherwise, if you don't let it go, you're going to see how what's going on here? The two hands are just holding on for dear life. And if you don't let it go, you're going to be at this stalemate forever. Like if you try to resist the cut that's taken place, then you're going to just be in a stalemate. Or else you're going to get your hands burned, because that's what happens when you're holding on to a rope and someone's more powerful than you. The Emperor, he's going to pull away anyway, and so you'll just need to do that. And I think that we've got a good assurance here that good things are coming for you with the fish and the tree, and in the end, you know, you'll get through it. Secrets, but the secrets will be revealed soon. You'll see. You're going to find out. The writer is coming in. That's the messages. So he's coming in toward revealing the secrets. And that will be key. That's a breakthrough. The writer is a breakthrough. These two mirror each other. So you have a big breakthrough when these messages come through. The two of you. The ghosting ends, and you end up finding out. You end up finding out what was going on there, and that is the breakthrough. The ship and the clouds. So there's some uncertainty about the movement. There's some uncertainty, or you're moving through the uncertainty. The trip, some kind of travel, will create a breakthrough. So if anybody's been contemplating some kind of travel to see this person or meet this person, it does look like that's very positive, because the messenger is also movement. But just be aware that the clouds are there. They indicate that there's something you're not clearly seeing, and that there is something not known. So just be watching out for that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull little cards. Now, the way these work is that when you're doing the Lenormand reading in a grand tableau spread, every card gets laid out, every card in the deck, and then wherever it sits on what position it is gives us an indication about what area of life we can look for to see what's going on. And then when I put a card down below these, it gives me kind of an idea of what area of the situation these come up in, and it gives us a little bit more insights. Okay, very good things. All right, so I'm going over here. There's uncertainty in regards to a friend. This person is a friend. It may be a lover, but they're a friend. And they are facing either they might be going through some mental confusion, even depression. The clouds in a dog can be depression. So that could be one reason, and that's something you'll find out along with, I feel you'll find out more. But they're facing some confusion, and they're very loyal, but this clouds in their situation, you don't know about it, and you don't understand and know what it is, but it's weighing them down quite heavily. The ship is in the house of the stars, so I feel like this is really a wish come true. You've wanted to meet this person, see this person, connect with them again. It could be that you're at a distance from each other, you're not close to each other. And so this, you know, really was something you've been wanting, and it does, you know, because it's here, it's coming through. The key is in the house of the communication of letter. So the anchor, the book in the house of the anchor talks about what it was that really was holding them back, the secrets, the information that's going to come to light, and it has to do with things that they're very stuck and very tied down to. They were tied down in ways you didn't fully understand, and these are not like necessarily bad tying down. It's just like what anchors them even as a person. So, for example, if just trying to think of some ideas here, if the two of you are, if this is a relationship question, and you know, there had been some hope on your part that, you know, oh, maybe someday we can, you know, we can date and we can move forward into this relationship because we really like each other and that kind of thing, then you weren't fully aware of all the kinds of things that they were tied down to that would prevent them from easily getting into the situation, into a relationship with you. But that will come to light, and the communication occurs around that. I do feel that this person really likes you. I don't think that there's really a question about that. It doesn't look, there's nothing negative here at all. And so, in fact, this is really positive. We have the writer in the house of the flowers, and the flowers is all about a gift, about really things that are beautiful, and a nice, I was going to say surprise. Why do I have surprise in my mind? It's more the scythe that's a surprise, but I don't know, for some reason they're saying that. So it could be, you know, this message or this information comes as a surprise to you, but it's a very pleasant one. And the writer is forward movement. The writer is, and he's also coming toward revealing the secret too, which in the Lenormand, the direction of the writer does play a role. It doesn't have to, but it can. So we're seeing him go right toward the book that's open. And in also Lenormand, some decks show the book closed, which means that there is, you know, the secrets are being kept, but then we look at other cards to see if they're going to be revealed. And then in this case, the book is open, and so we get more that, you know, the secrets will be revealed. So the writer is coming in, there's forward movement, he's super positive. It means that everything that was ever stuck is now moving, and we had the anchor here indicating things were stuck, but now we have movement. And then, you know, the clouds, it's important to just keep this in mind because this kind of overshadows a lot of the stuff that was going on with you guys. So let me just go ahead and take a look at why, did I really cover why he was ghosting, he or she, why was this person ghosting you? They had some secrets they were anchored into. I'm thinking I covered that pretty well. Let's do, let's get into if there's anything. Oh, and you will hear from them. Like there's no question here. That's coming. And let's get into see if there's anything you could or should do. What's your best course of action? What's your suggested action here? Okay. Stop your worrying. Everything's going to turn out okay. The mice are, you know, they're eating away. Your fear is eating away at you when all there is in the forecast is stars. Like the stars are your wishes come true. Things really turn out the way you ever wanted them to. The mouse card is a totally negative card, but the stars is so positive that it's going to overshine that anyway. But I will have to say this, that if you stay in the energy of the mouse, you're going to hold the frequency of this ghosting much longer, because part of what always works, the way it works is that they're working through their shit over here, but if you're in a vibration that doesn't bring on the reconnection either, then the reconnection gets delayed. If the reconnection is really destined, if it's which the stars suggest it will be, and so is the trip, if the connection is destined, it will probably work out, although we can sabotage something so drastically that we finally, you know, we can spoil something that could have been a good thing. And then the universe will bring us another opportunity to have that good thing come into our life. But your vibration really, you know, impacts that a lot. So this is very, I feel that some of you really, really needed this message about that you just let go of that, all that niggling doubt that's eating away at you, and move into this energy of the stars and the trust. And it doesn't say to reach out to them. It doesn't say that you can't or that you shouldn't. It's just saying that that's what you need to do. So I really would just take the, I would take the approach, if I were you, to just be in a flow. And if you really are, you know, if you're kind of moved, just, you know, like, oh, I didn't reach out to them, then that's fine. You're in a flow. If you really go into this positive state that everything is going to work out okay, that will bring about the flow, and maybe this writer is actually you coming into the situation. I don't know. I don't feel like it's saying yes, they will come to you or you need to come to them. It's just that about you needing to be in the flow of it, and then you'll know what to do. You'll be guided, and you'll flow into the right course of action that will bring about your desires, because you both have a desire. I feel it's on both sides here. I don't see anything to indicate otherwise. And actually, I will pull some cards. Let's do 3 for you. Let's do 3 for them. And we're going to do 1 for the energy in the middle. Okay. I feel this person had something in their past that they're walking away from. And it could be that they were in a third-party situation with the 3 of Cups. It might be that they were married already, or they had someone who cheated on them and was in a third-party situation. They're walking away from that. So some of their silence has to do with just the fact that, you know, remember how I said secrets? It's stuff they were anchored to, and I never really got into details. Now we're seeing some details. The stuff that held them back, or that they're really anchored into, is just stuff they have to finish dealing with. They have to finish walking away from something. Now this could be that they're heartbroken because someone cheated on them, and that's some personal, you know, healing that they're having to do, and they're going through that process. So they haven't maybe come rushing into the situation as quickly as you wanted, or perhaps they actually are still married and they're in the process of getting the divorce, or in the process of walking away. It is ending. It's over. They've already seen the possibility. This is the 2 of Wands is about visualizing and actually seeing, oh my goodness, I can have so much more. Oh, the world is my oyster, kind of thing. So they know, they've seen it, and they're totally doing this. Like, you can trust this. You might feel like, oh, nothing's happening, they're not moving, what's going on here, they're ghosting me. Well, they're walking through their stuff, and they've got to get over it. They got to get through it, because you don't want them coming to you all broken and still trying to fix what's inside of them that needs fixing, because, you know, like, I mean, at least I wouldn't want that. I would want someone who's gone through that stuff already, so we can, you know, move into something beautiful and new. And you have everything beautiful and new coming. You've got the writer, the movement, the energy, the forward motion is in the house of the flowers. It's all beautiful. The stars, the trip and the stars, everything's really good. Let's take a look at you. And what were you going through leading up to this? Okay, you might have been married before, or else you're holding on to your desire to be married. You're holding on real tight. That could be affecting some of this worry. The moon card is about deep within the psyche. The moon card in tarot is quite negative. To me, it's mostly a negative card. It's talking about secrets and deep things and stuff that's hard and shit you're dealing with. When I say negative card, I mean it still has its good aspects, but it's not like this. The moon card in the Lenormand has a completely different meaning. So here it is like you're kind of, you know, you have your own stuff to deal with as well, and you're dealing with it. And I kind of have a feeling you're holding on to stuff that you need to let go. And that's with this eating, you know, the eating at you. You're letting stuff eat at you that needs to be let go. The Hierophant is, it can also be, besides marriage, it can also be about just like the structure of religious beliefs and teachings, and even how they are imprinted, whether you're a religious person or not. Let's say that you're not so religious anymore as you are spiritual, which I think a lot of people who watch these readings, that's kind of the path they're on. And you're on a spiritual path, but there's still kind of like dogma and things like that that are still in you that you're healing, and you're working through some of that stuff. So that stuff's kind of like manifesting itself in this the moon card and some of the stuff you're dealing with, and it kind of is one of the reasons you're holding on to something real tight. But I feel like you you have some letting go of your own to do, and that as this person is doing their walking away of something, you've got some walking away of your own, or just some letting go, just releasing some, going into some flow, because you're holding on real tight. So let's take a look here. The Queen of Cups is the energy between the two of you. I want to pull another one because we've got the feminine there, but that's a lot of love. So that's an emotional connection. Somebody's really emotionally connecting to this, and we have Justice, which means balance between the two of you. So that's a good card as well. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is the wishes coming true. So now we have 3 wishes coming true. We have the stars twice, and we have the Nine of Cups. And I just really feel like you guys, you're on a good path. This is a good partnership. If it's not a love situation, it's a good partnership for business or friendship or something. And you know, you will hear from each other again. Stay in the flow. That's what this Queen of Cups is coming up for. She's in the flow. She's in touch with her emotions, and she's very flowing. And the Nine of Cups is very flowing as well. And if you just stay in that energy and, you know, allow balance to come in, because I think this is what's happening. The two of you kind of have a similar thing going on here, and they need to do their work, and you need to do yours. Come into your own balance. And then I think this thing will just come together really nicely in the future. And so I just want to thank you guys again so much for watching my channel, and I will be doing more of these readings, so stick around. You'll hear from me again. Have a good one. Bye.